the beach that you're on after that check gives us. You notice that you're on a black and white beach that seems to stretch on for a large distance. On beside you and behind you are very large cliffs, and covering the beach is this very dark black seaweed-like substance that seems to be emanating a little bit of fumes. You're actually somewhat covered in it yourself.
I'll try to get it off me.
Yes, and as you remove it, a few other things begin to get picked up. Uh, this beach seems to muffle everything. The sounds of the waves, even your own emotions seem slightly dampened while you're here. But what else do you notice? Aside from the beach seemingly leading you in a direction, you notice pretty far down a very large bridge that seems to lead to somewhere. The bridge is actually recognizable, as it looks like the bridge that led to the mainland from School Island. And last but not least, you notice yours truly just kind of floating around you, sleeping.
Wait, me sleeping? Like I see myself sleeping?
No, no. You see me sleeping, floating in the air.
I try to immediately go near you and see and ask like, "Hey, what are you doing here? Like, why are you floating? Like, where am I? Like, hey, can you hear me?"
Uh, Popping out of my slumber. Oh, Elise. Well, that's actually a good question. Last I knew, I was trapped in your phone, right? And as for where we are, well, your guess is as good as mine.
So how come you're out from my phone?
If I suppose there's lots of theories for that, but I not really sure. What was the last thing you remember?
I remember seeing my parents on the bed, and I saw my dad's head rolled on the floor and shattered into pieces. So was that a dream?
Hmm. Well, considering I'm here talking to you, I doubt it. And I mean, well, my condolences. I suppose you'd rather think it was a dream. Would you like to think it's a dream? I could tell you it's a dream.
So they died?
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Oh, I suppose I should mention before I ended up passing out here because for some reason I couldn't seem to leave the area you're in. Um, I did notice a few others falling from the sky.
Oh, where are they right now?
I suppose they probably washed up on the shore like you.
And we should try to look for them. So I try to find a way to go to the bridge at least.
Um, yes. And uh so I should mention for everyone else before this session I had everyone give me a willpower roll. That roll not only determined who would wake up first, however, the seaweed that dampens your emotion, it also determined how much it dampens your emotion. So some of you might be having trouble finding the will to even get up once you're awake right now. Anyway, so you head down the beach.
Yes.
All right, so among the seaweed, you do notice an issue with locating people. Um, there seems to be lumps in the seaweed, human-sized lumps actually. However, you notice lots of them. Like, it's not just a couple where you could easily identify one person from the next.
I try to go to the nearest one and try to uncover the seaweeds from them.
You try to uncover the seaweed from the nearest, the nearest lump.
Yeah,
All right. So as you do, um, the color of the clothes on the person, assuming that it wasn't black and white, does seem a little faded. However, the more you uncover, the more you seem to recognize the clothes, and the person underneath the seaweed begins to slowly start moving. Um, and as it gets up, you recognize it as your headless father.
I scream like, "Oh my gosh, my it's my dad! Like, what is he doing here? Like, so he's really dead."
And let's look at those. And now Valentine and actually just Valentine, you would slowly come to the muffled screams of someone nearby.
Well, Valentine, as soon as he like hears someone screaming, he has an aspect of he doesn't like seeing people in pain, and hearing them either is gonna be bad. So he's gonna rush over there. He's just gonna like roll up. He's gonna kind of like stumble upon because he kind of passed out, or he doesn't
Mhm.
quite know. And then he will
So
rush towards the girl that is screaming if he can see.
So I suppose it will be worth noting, Elise, that on top of this headless image of your father, you also see this seaweed-like monster running towards you.
I try to stand up and try to make a run for it.
Uh, no, wait! I won't hurt you. I'll start like knocking stuff off my shoulders.
I do I recognize that it's a human voice?
Yes, you do recognize it as a human voice.
I'll be like, "Are you even human?"
I mean, I would sure hope I am. Uh,
Well,
and he'll pick up, he'll take his top hat hot and he'll like shake it, the seaweed off, and he'll put the top hat back on, and he'll be like, "Do I recognize her from the cafe that we used to
Um,
visit?"
yeah, I mean, you obviously wouldn't like know her well, but
Yeah.
you could recognize her in passing.
Um,
do I feel that he's familiar or something?
Well, considering Valentine's attire, you likely recognize him, yes.
I do
Okay.
stand out. You used to go to that cafe, right?
Oh, you mean Isaac's cafe? Yeah.
Yeah,
There,
yeah, yeah. I heard you screaming. Are you okay?
I'm not sure if I'm okay.
so Isaac and Revi, their bantering actually gets you to slowly come to, and uh, I don't know if you guys look around. However, you see uh, Elise having a conversation with a seaweed monster as a headless person is slowly approaching them.
Uh,
And assuming you don't take measures to get the seaweed off of you, you two wouldn't look much better.
well, well, when I awaken, I see that. Mm, I will get up as quick as I can and run at the headless thing.
You're running at you're running at the headless creature.
Yes, it's headless. Like I don't know what the other ones are, but at least I know that for for effect, that's a weird thing.
So you're aiming to like.
Knock it down.
Okay. And Isaac, what are you doing?
Isaac's gonna come to a little groggy and be very confused when he sees everything. He's gonna throw his arm out and scream for everyone to run! And he's gonna see the seaweed on his arm and start to try to clean his seaweed off of himself.
Okay, so he sees the headless. You know what? I think that's a fair reaction considering that, the night he's just had and then he wakes up to a headless creature and seaweed monsters.
I could just watch it kill them all.
So
Act the three.
So, Revy, I will grant you that you knocked the creature down. Now, Valentine and Elise, you just saw Revy shoot out and knock over the headless thing that was approaching you, and heard Isaac shout, "Run!"
Oh, it's Isaac. We stuck together. So I'll just like take Elise and I'll just like aim her towards Isaac and let's go. Thank you, Miss. As he looks over to Revy.
Eh. Let's just go.
Good talk. Good talk.
All right. So, where are you guys headed?
Well, I figure we're going to regroup with Isaac, just better as a group than solo.
Right, because Isaac got up, shouted, "Run!" and wait, Isaac, did you start running before everybody?
I was scrambling to get all the seaweed off of myself.
Ah, okay. So you all regroup. The headless creature is getting up slowly, but it's not moving very fast, and you all see much of what Elise saw. The beach, the cliffside. Further down the way is the bridge. So, not that you probably would have studied the mainland off of School Island too well. However, one could assume that this beach is on the mainland and that bridge leads to School Island.
Once we've regrouped, I will look over to Revy, and kind of lighten the mood, and I'll just be like, "By the way, miss, you really left that corpse in shambles. Get it? 'Cause he's shambling? Is that over the top? Too much on the head?"
Stop talking. We need to figure out what's going on.
Can I make a check to try to lighten the mood?
Well, not really specifically because this beach is sapping emotions. And speaking of, Atlas. Atlas?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
I'm still sleeping.
Yes. Well, not really. So, while everyone is bantering, things begin to happen. In fact, while I talk to you, I will take willpower perception rolls from everybody, but, you're just finding it very hard to find the motivation to get up, to be honest. The seaweed is really doing a number on you. You're by the ocean, so, you're scared of the ocean, but so maybe this is for the best?
Nope.
Wow, I have 3d6 plus 8, and I rolled 3 1s.
All right, so that's a
Got
critical.
11. Oh.
So I'm going to make a home rule right now that that's a critical failure. No.
Ew.
Seaweed fumes in the eyes.
And
Willpower and what?
Do I still have my knife?
Your knife? Were you were holding it as you were running? Yeah, I can say that you still have your knife. And Elise, one more perception check from you.
Me realizing my modifier is higher than your roll.
Okay. What was that?
Oh, I didn't say nothing. I was just breathing.
No, Isaac?
Oh, I was just looking at the rolls, and my boy with the 11, my modifier is higher than his total roll.
I rolled 3 ones. What do you want from me, my man?
So,
I will be like fist bump towards you, Isaac, because we helped each other though.
Val, this is especially true for Valentine, but Revy as well. You guys don't really notice anything. You're just kind of paying attention to the party. Revy, you might be paying attention to the party and wanting to bounce, but you don't notice anything going on. But Elise and Isaac, you notice a lot of the lumps in the seaweed starting to rise up. And this is particularly troublesome because the seaweed is all over the place. It's in front of you, behind you, to the left, to the right. Granted, you did see like some normal people coming out of this seaweed. These might not all be headless monsters, you know. Could be, you know, allies, friends, people, survivors. What you thinking? We'll start with you, Valentine.
I didn't notice anything, so what am I thinking right now?
Oh, right. Yeah, no. Isaac, what are you thinking?
Well, right now, I'm wondering why channels keep disappearing for me. Every time I click a new one, they're gone. So I can't roll anymore. But regarding the zombie swarm, I'm going to shout, "There's more of them!" and start slashing at things.
So you're just gonna like start slashing at the seaweed lumps getting up?
The ones nearest me, yes.
Okay, and Elise?
First I try to look around to see if I can find a way to like get to higher ground, and then I turn to Valentine and say, "Hey, I think we should run. Like we should find some place to go where these things can't get us."
I'm all
So,
for that idea.
yes. So Valentine and Revy, after their big announcement that there's more of them, and you see Isaac starting to get very stabby, you do notice that the creature's getting up, and Elise, when you look around, you notice that there is a path right next to the bridge that you can go up to get up to the mainland. It's probably like one of the only paths up there on the beach due to the steep cliffs.
Okay, so I try to get everyone's attention and say, "Hey, I think we should go there," and point to that direction, and then try to, since I think Val is holding me, right? So I try to pull his hand and like say, "Hey, let's go."
Okay. Oh, yeah, because he was kind of holding you to make you go, and so run.
Um, so does everyone start running? Just out of curiosity,
If Elise goes, I'm with her right now.
Elise, Revy,
Might as well. We're all trying to survive.
Isaac.
Atlas would love to run, but he can't right now.
Yes, I don't worry, Atlas. I haven't forgotten that you are still a lump of seaweed on the beach. Isaac?
Do I see Atlas? Like, has he at least moved or uncovered himself enough?
No, so that's actually the thing. As everyone starts deciding to move, I would, because I'm still floating around, point out that there is a lump of seaweed that doesn't move, and we haven't found one of the people that I saw fall from the sky.
Well, then I'm going to start clearing a path towards the non-moving lump.
All right. So Isaac, give me a agility fight roll. And is everyone else gonna come with Isaac, or are you gonna head towards the bridge?
I asked Val if we should go there with Isaac.
Well, I don't think splitting the party is good. I mean, in every horror movie, when that usually happens, they die. So maybe we add some backup.
I say okay, so let's go.
And
Ugh,
Ravi?
fine. I might as well help also.
All right. So no, Isaac, you have to suffer like everyone else. But I will allow Valentine, Elise, and Revi to give me agility fight rolls to support you. Otherwise,
May I
this isn't gonna go well.
instead take up sand and I'm throwing it at them to distract them? Just pack his hand, pack his hand.
Sure. Whether it's as effective or not, I will allow a perform roll from you.
Sweet. Jazz hands.
Shut up.
Spirit fingers. All right, let's see. 3d6 plus 11. Woo! I'll tell you what, though, I'm not rolling very good, but I got a good modifier, so.
Okay, so the seaweed monsters, which as they are getting closer, you can hear them start to say something about fakers and joining, but hard to make out. And they would honestly have swarmed Isaac, Revi, and Elise, but luckily, Valentine coming in clutch, they're swarming him instead. And and as all of the zombies head towards Valentine, Isaac, you do
Oh
manage.
ho ho! You dare approach me?
Isaac, you do manage to get to the lump, and as you siphon through it, you find out it's actually just a lump of seaweed. However, you're perceptive enough to notice the hand sticking out of a different lump nearby.
So I just start moving towards the other lump?
And while I have the zombies distracted, I'm gonna let go of Lise and tell her to go with the others, and I'll try to lead them a little ways away.
So, leading them, are you leading them towards the path up in the bridge?
No,
or...
I'm leading them away from the path to clear for the others.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Isaac, you do get to the other lump. I assume you shake it or whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah, so Atlas, you are being shooken. Your will to live is barely there, but you are being shaken by someone.
So Atlas is basically just still out cold, mostly from shock, fear, everything else. So basically everything that Atlas doesn't want to happen happened all at once. So he's basically out cold for a bit.
So you're still asleep?
Right. Basically, he's out cold. He you could still nudge him, but he's gonna react, but he's still gonna be out cold. He's not gonna get up or anytime soon.
Well,
This is no time to be playing around. We're gonna die here.
is anyone else
I
gonna?
will straight slap this man across the face. Let's be real here.
Is anyone else gonna try to assist Isaac with moving Atlas?
I say we leave him. He wants to die.
Well, actually, since I saw Val like trying to, distract the other zombies, I tried to look around to see if I can find something to like help him get away from those things.
There, there's not much. You could find rocks on the beach. There are rocks.
Okay, then I'll try to get some rocks and then try to throw it at them.
All right. Let's hope that you can throw rocks better than chairs.
I'll grab her arm real
She
quick.
hits Valentine. Ugh.
No, she's like,
Sorry.
you're gonna throw, but he throws it backwards.
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
So, Revi, did you say you were gonna throw rocks as well?
No.
No,
I'll
no.
grab her arm and stop her.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're
then.
trying to throw rocks at these things he's luring away. They're just gonna come for us again.
No, I'll be like, how can we help him if he's being chased around?
It is what it is.
Don't worry about me.
I suppose I'll chime in that at least if you guys get away, he should have an easier time of escaping.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good at like the stealthy stuff. I mean, dodgy stuff. Not really the stealthy stuff.
However, if Atlas doesn't wake up soon, nobody's gonna get out of here.
It's time to drag him and go.
I was serious about slapping him. I rolled for it.
That's a pretty hard smack.
That is a pretty hard smack. Atlas, you got smacked really hard. Atlas,
Oh my god, you
Basically-
killed him.
Like before the slap happens, like you just see like Atlas's eyes spring open, catches the hand, and then gets up. Like basically, like he just like kung fu mastered his way up.
He's a Rock Lee right now, muscle memory.
And then he turns around to the ocean, sees it's the ocean, and then starts running for land.
Isaac's going
No.
to catch his hand when he turns to run and take him to the smart way.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
for what it's worth,
Atlas knows his survival. He sees the ocean, and he's immediately booking for the best place possible for land, which
For-
is the other way.
for what
The
it's
cliff face.
for what it's worth, the bridge and cliff base connect. That is the proper way if that's where he's going. Atlas, are you going towards the cliff base, or are you heading towards a specific way to get away from the ocean?
Like, in general, he's just going the other way, facing away from the ocean. So he's going straight for the cliffside.
Alright, so someone grab him. Like, he obviously doesn't know where he's going.
You know, I was gonna ask for the slap. However, now it seems like we're playing with a greased up pig. Atlas, give me an agility dodge roll as people try to like catch you and let you do the right thing.
You said agility dodge?
Agility dodge, yes. And Isaac, was that your agility fight roll again?
My god.
I
Hey,
haven't
the
rolled
20
since the
does beat
slab.
the 16, so
Yeah, but that was just the slap.
fair.
So Isaac, Revi, probably not Elise. I doubt Elise would try to tackle someone. You both can try to catch him with an agility fight roll. Okay. Okay, yes.
I feel outclassed.
So, Atlas, Isaac does catch you and grabs onto your hand, and Revi honestly just bodies you to the ground.
With Isaac, like Isaac catches me, Revi body slams both me and Isaac to the ground.
Mostly you, but yes, sure, why not? Isaac, you went to the ground too. There are creatures starting to swarm you guys again. It's been a while. A lot of them were chasing Valentine, but
Isaac's going to do his best to roll onto his feet and start yelling at everyone. We need to go. Enough of this bullshit.
And I'm going to try to get the attention of the ones that have started turning towards the others. I'm going to throw a couple of stones their way to get their attention. Like, hey, I'm not done with you yet. Fisticuffs.
I'll drag Atlas. Let's go. Let's go.
Elise, what are you doing in this chaos?
I guess I just try to help Levi drag Atlas so we can like run for it.
Okay.
Well, you guys are basically dragging Atlas. Atlas is like trying to run away from you.
Okay.
So he's like just running in place while you're dragging him backwards.
Well,
Okay, hold on. So, I will try to be helpful and tell Atlas that there is a path away from the ocean by the bridge. Because as humanity's companion, I would know that Atlas is afraid of water. Now, Atlas, what you do with that knowledge is up to you.
I mean, Atlas will acknowledge what you just said, but then he immediately starts rummaging through his bag like blindedly and pulls out like rope and climbing gear to face off the cliff.
So,
Like,
so he recognizes that there's a path up that he doesn't need rope and climbing gear for, but he wants to climb the cliff.
he wanted the fastest way away from the ocean. He wasn't going to run beside the ocean to get to an area to go away from it. He went straight for the cliff and he was going to climb it.
My man's has a survival pack?
Yeah, he has a very large bag. It's the reason why he's so strong, even though he's a bookworm.
I think we should knock him out.
Just wait till he takes off those training weights.
All right. So, wait, you know what, Valentine? Give me an endurance check while all of this is going on, because it's a valiant effort to distract all of these seaweed monsters. However, this is taking a while.
Do
And-
I get a +1 because I've been describing what I was doing, or no?
I'll give you a +2 because you've been doing so with enough flair that you probably didn't have to expend as much energy.
All right.
That
is a 7. I rolled so bad. Well, GG, everybody.
And you've been
Valentine's just there like flourishing, and then all of a sudden he just face plants.
and you've been running away from everybody. Valentine?
Yeah, I've been backing up. That's okay because I still, even if I, failed this roll, I could still possibly dodge if they try to grab me. So
Okay, we will come back to that. Now, Revi and Isaac, while you are pulling Atlas as these creatures are starting to come up to you, he is struggling with rope and hooks in his hand because he wants to climb that cliff face.
I'll let him go. I'll let him do what he wants. Let's go, guys. There's no need to stay here any longer.
Isaac,
If you choose death, that's on you.
Elise,
I'll try to use my aspect on him and be like, try to calm him down. Like, hey, Atlas, you might want to calm down and relax and like think this through.
Atlas, where are you at? Where are you at
I'm
is...
still here.
No. Where are you at, like, mentally?
Oh, he's like basically like completely shut in. He's like 98% shut in, just enough for him to see through. Like everything else is basically just like a void. He's just focused at the cliffside, to the top, away from the water, safety. I'll be happy.
Okay.
How far from the
and-
actual path is his intended climb?
You know, by this point, it's probably not too far, so I guess he doesn't have too far to climb, but he's very insistent, so I don't think there's much you can do about it.
I'm gonna
And
just start moving to
Is
the
Elise
path.
still holding me?
No one's holding you. Elise was
No one's
trying
holding.
Elise was trying to like persuade you, but no one is holding you anymore. So
Okay.
you're booking it to the cliffside, right?
Yeah, like I booked to the cliffside and immediately I start like prepping my rope, prepping my hiking gear, and just like I start climbing like slowly, but then I'm also like setting up like little step ladders so that people can use it after me.
All right.
Like he's
So-
doing it like unconsciously. It's like he's doing it for like if he ever gets stuck again, he knows where to go.
Right. So, you know, we'll come back to this, but while we do, give me an agility roll for later. Now, Elise, Revi, and Isaac. Now, it might have been harder to get to this point for you guys. However, between Valentine and Atlas's efforts, these seaweed monsters that are shouting about fakers and stuff, they're distracted enough. And I'll take your perception checks from earlier as to how perceptive you're being in this situation. Isaac, you do notice a dip in the sand by the path you plan to take to get up to the mainland and the bridge and whatnot. I mean, I wouldn't say that it looks dangerous. It's just a dip.
Is it like actively forming or shifting or anything?
No, I mean, like, if you look really carefully, you might see a couple sprinkles of sand falling into it, but it seems like it's been there. It's not really moving.
Then I don't see why I would be concerned. I'd probably continue forward.
All right, and you wouldn't mention it? No one else would notice.
You said it was unconcerning, so
No, that's true. That's true. Unconcerning. So as you three continue forward, Elise, Revi, and Isaac, give me agility dodge rolls. Oh, Revi, I see what you're doing. So when I say like agility dodge, I just mean the one roll, but it combines both stats. So it wouldn't be a plus 12, though. It'd just be the plus 7. So the second roll
Okay.
is... Yeah. All right. Ba, ba, ba. So Isaac, being the only person who even knew that there was anything, you alone managed to jump out of the way as a large creature bursts forth from this divot in the ground with tendrils that manage to both grab onto Revi and Elise.
How big is it?
It's fairly big.
Grizzly bear, a school bus, a mountain.
I'd say about the size of an SUV.
Okay, so the tentacles are normal sized. I'm probably going to scramble and scream, and then I'm going to start trying to cut the tentacles on whichever one is closer to me.
All right, so what I'm going to ask for from you, Isaac, is I will actually take 2 accuracy rolls, like as in the stat for combat.
Do I?
Okay. Let me open up a sheet so I can point you in the right direction.
He's asking for a fight check, Isaac.
Yes. Well, no, not agility fight. But yes, a combat check.
So all my derived stats have a base 6 and no pluses. Is that the way that's supposed to be?
So how this works is you will roll 66 and any 5s and 6s are successes.
Interesting.
And don't worry when you see what you're up against. Well, maybe you should worry a little, but
So do you have to equal 5 or just get above 5 and above?
5 or 6 is a successful dice. Anything that isn't a 5 or 6 basically just doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
And there is no difference between a 5 or a 6 in these rolls.
Okay. So Isaac got at least 1, I guess.
And you're measuring accuracy versus the opponent's dodge. Now, Isaac, you can give me one more if you'd like to take another crack at stabbing this thing. Your blade just kind of bounced off its hard shell the first time.
Forget stabbing. I'm gonna try to pry the tentacles loose enough for them to fall through.
Oh,
Okay, so probably for the best. In this case, I'll just take a agility fight roll from you. Da-da-da.
That's a little better.
Not the worst. We'll give a little bit of modifiers. Now, Elise and Revi, in your derived stats, give me a dodge roll from each of you. In this case, it would be just like what Isaac just did with the accuracy roll. So whatever your dodge is, that many d6.
And if you put that space T5, it'll tell you which ones are successes because it's 5 or above, right?
Yep, the T5 will
Nice.
just tell you how many.
Like difficulty, basically.
Yep. Without the T5, you manually count. With it, it just tells you. Okay, so Elise, not quite how it works, but since your dodge is a 3 anyway, basically how it works.
So it would be like 2D because my dodge is 2 plus the 7.
No, it would just be roll 2d6.
And then anything 5 or above is a success.
Yes.
Your dodge down in the derived stat box is a 2.
Yeah, Revy, is your dodge in the derived stat actually a 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised because I know your character's kind of strong. But all right, so Isaac, you are trying to rip these tentacles free from the girls, and the girls are trying to escape. However, this creature does take a sizable nom out of both of them. Now, in this instance, chances are you two would probably die if it wasn't for the fact that your first KO you survived with 1 HP. How much does 11 damage do to both of you? Subtract your armor from the 11. Your armor is a derived stat, and then that many hitboxes. Elise and Revy, did you catch that?
Right, so it's the damage minus the armor?
Damage minus armor, and that's however much damage you took.
And how much damage? 11?
Yes.
I got an 8.
And how many wound boxes do you have, Elise?
3.
3? Well, luckily you survived with 1 HP. Not looking too good, but maybe fine. Revy?
Sorry, this is confusing me. Sorry, I'm trying to
All right.
figure it out.
So, Jesus. Wait. No. No. I knew you were strong, Revy. Okay, so your dodge under your stat is 2, but your derived dodge is 7.
Oh, that.
Yeah, these numbers, and your armor is 9.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that's what it is. Okay.
Yes, so you actually only take 2. The creature actually doesn't end up hurting you that badly. In fact, I'd say with Isaac's help, you actually managed to get free. Do. So, yes, things are still not looking good, though. I mean, Elise over here with 1 HP, Atlas being swarmed by zombies. I mean, are they zombies? Maybe zombies. Atlas, so you know the zombies are starting to claw at your legs and stuff and pull you down.
While he's climbing up a hill, the cliff.
Yes, like, you had to set up the gear and whatnot, and as you did, like, they were already starting to swarm you for.
Oh my god. This is all Atlas's fault. We should have just let him die.
And
Dang.
boop.
Oh, what the heck? Oh my
So,
gosh.
yes, and Valentine, honestly, you ran out of steam, and they're starting to catch you and grab onto you.
I did fail an endurance check. I couldn't taunt them, but I have yet to be able to roll a dodge check. So.
Yes, I was going to say you can give me an agility dodge, but with your endurance, we'll see.
Thank you. So I'm going to become duck dodgers, and essentially, because they're slower than me, right? I just got a little worn out. Mainly I tripped over, and then that's when they started catching on me. What I'll do to kind of lessen the strain on my body is, as I slow down, as the first one gets close, I will like duck under as they come and attack, and just kind of stick out my leg and make it fall. And I'll do that just like to keep my energy, and essentially if one falls over and they're all kind of shambling after, then it could cause like a domino effect. So that is my intention. Do I get any bonuses? If not, I understand, but I will always ask.
For now, let's just see where your dodge roll gets you, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Also, Isaac, you bring up a good point. Things are looking very grim for everybody, so you can roll for your torment.
Oh, baby! Rolled bad and then rolled good. Valentine's back in it.
Is this your major torment or your minor?
It's my major.
Okay, so how torments work? Well, it tells you what to roll right there on your sheet. How they work is you roll straight willpower, however you subtract however many from... Wait. No, you don't have two minor torments, you have one major. Which one? Which... Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong sheet. Okay, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, you're fine. You're fine enough. You're probably still freaking out a little bit, but you're not, like, dying. Alright. So, the current situation is Isaac managed to free Revy from this sand monster. However, its tentacles still has its hold on Elise, and it is making a meal out of her. Atlas is being pulled down into a zombie horde from the cliff face as he tries to escape the ocean. And Valentine is putting up a valiant effort escaping the horde. However, he does have so many after him, and he's been going for so long with he could only last for so long. Things are looking pretty grim. However,
insert iconic Digivice squeal here.
However, Isaac, Revy, give me pure body checks. Do 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 do. Not the worst. So, as all of this is happening, and this creature is possibly going to devour all three of you, there is suddenly a very large, not explosion, but boom, I guess would be the right word. And the creature ends up getting slammed to the ground so hard it actually throws both of you back. Both of you take 2 wound box damage. Straight, no armor subtraction. And, who rolled better? Isaac barely. So, Isaac.
Yes.
Yes, as you are thrown back, you eventually, get your bearings, and I assume you're going to be very focused on the creature that still has Elise. However, I don't know, maybe large explosion means run.
I'm going to look around to figure out what caused that.
Yes, so as you look around and you see the beast, you actually now see another creature on top of it. Luckily, Elise was like held off to the side in the tendrils, so it didn't land on her and crush her to death. But you now see a very large man-like creature wearing a cape on top of what was attacking you, and he's tearing into it and devouring part of it. And quite the odd sight, really, because it's not quite a human, but it's wearing a hat, a cape, well, jacket, cape.
Elise, can you move?
I try to see if I can even move my body because I just have 1 HP. Am I even conscious still?
Yes, Elise, you are conscious. You can move, but everything hurts and you are bleeding.
Oh, well, I try to like crawl out or something.
Yes, you do manage that. And, Ravi, what are you doing now?
I'm getting up, dusting myself up, and seeing if I could run towards Elise to help her get away from this scene.
Yes, so I assume the three of you are probably making a break for the path up to the bridge.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So luckily for you, Atlas and Valentine, this man beast ends up turning its attention away from the creature that it was devouring after it stopped moving, and quickly makes its way over to you two and throws both of you over its shoulders before jumping up to the top of the cliff.
Y'all just got King Konged.
But I hadn't even. I was putting up such a good fight.
You were trying. Atlas?
To be fair, I rolled really good on that last check.
Atlas is like pretty much like in shock from what just happened. Like he's trying to climb up, and all of a sudden he gets grabbed by someone, and then he's off. But
Yes.
as long as he's away from the ocean, he feels a little bit comfortable.
Well, to be honest, Warzone is pretty apt, but to be honest, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you can still hear the ocean waves, and the farther you get from the ocean, the more its effects of numbing your emotions get. So your emotions start to come back in waves. But the creature ends up actually taking both Valentine and Atlas, both of you, to the other three before setting you down.
And here I thought I was going to be leading a harem.
So,
Warzone.
we'll start with you, Valentine. Well, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I am going. So, did we all make it to safety then?
Presumably.
Presumably, I mean, big scary creature's still there, but he did just seemingly save you guys, so maybe not that scary. I don't know. There's a lot of blood on his face, and if you get a good look at him, very.
Do I recognize him with my prominent TCG knowledge?
There'd definitely be a card. However, he's not a very prominent card. You can give me a knowledge check.
Since that's an aspect, does that like do anything for me, or is it?
Yes, that would give you a bonus to the roll.
+2. All right. So just a intelligence knowledge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
+2. Roll 3d6. 2d6 plus 3 plus 2. How's a 16 do me?
You can't quite pin him. However, he does look similar to a few more relevant cards. He looks like definitely more horrifying and muscular, a bit more veiny. However, there are semblances to the Leomon cards that you know of.
Oh. Well, I will thank you for saving us. And then as I look around, I see Elise is the one that's hurt the most, right?
Yes, she's torn
Alright.
up.
Okay, because my major torment is I don't like seeing others badly hurt. So,
Atlas also sees Elise hurt, and he just like pulls out like a first aid kit out of his bag and then like just throws it at Elise.
You
Like
throw
at her
your
feet.
you...
At her feet. He doesn't just like chucks it at her. He's like he chucks it, but like not at her directly, like dealing her the 1 point of damage left. Kill her, but
Okay,
like he
okay.
just throws it at her so she can do her own healing.
So while you're doing that, Valentine, you can roll your torment. Elise, what are you thinking? You got this big creature, this big muscular creature sort of saved you guys. He's very scary looking, and Atlas is throwing a first aid kit at your feet.
hey, Aster, question.
Yes.
So it auto calculates what we should be rolling for that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so mine's a 3d6 minus 1. Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Should Atlas also
You're
roll his first torment for the ocean?
your emotions were dampened pretty harshly. However, you're still pretty close to it, and your emotions are coming back. So yes, you can roll yours if you'd like.
And I just do the 3d6 minus the number that's
whatever it says. Yes.
okay.
So, yes, Elise, what are your thoughts?
Well, I try to check on myself, like where am I wounded, like, and to see like that first aid kit that Atlas threw at me.
This poor socially inept child. So you're mostly paying attention to your wounds and trying to use that first aid kit right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna check on myself, like where am I wounded, like how badly I'm hurt, and then I'm gonna try to use the first aid kit.
okay.
And I would be doting on Elise or trying to help her because she's hurt.
Yes, between the two of you, normally I'd probably ask for some rolls. However, considering there's not much for Elise to heal up, you do manage to stop the bleeding at least. Oh, Atlas, you are.
Oh yeah, how did 11 do on the torment, by the way?
11, you are fine. You might be like a little
Alright.
shaken up, but it's nothing major. But
Sweet.
Atlas, you're not in good shape. you're very
Atlas needs
mentally,
therapy.
yeah, you are very mentally unstable right now. You're actually like not bueno.
I mean, he threw a first aid kit at someone who needs it. Okay, like he knows he's not stable. Like
Yeah,
he's willing to hurt someone with a healing kit.
rather, what I'm saying is every thought of yours right now is on that ocean. You do not care about what anyone is saying or anything else. The first aid kit was probably the last act of thought that you could give to anybody other than the ocean. However, we will come back as you consider what to do with that. Revi, what are you doing?
Revi, you there?
Yep. Sorry. I am collecting my thoughts and asking that Digimon, who is he? Or it?
He merely growls and says that he's willing to protect you, but to not get too involved with him.
Alright. It's time to leave because I can't do this anymore. You guys are a mess. I need to go.
All right. So if you look down the bridge that would lead to School Island, you actually do see what looks like School Island at the end of the bridge. However, the bridge very much looks busted and torn apart. There are entire parts missing. So the other way leads into the forest. And do you plan on heading in there?
Yep. Goodbye,
Okay.
guys.
All right. And before going back to the helpful words of wisdom from this monster, Atlas, where are you at right now?
Currently in the ocean. Mentally. Like, he's doing, like, the 1,000-yard stare at, like, a small puddle of water, and he's just, like, imagining himself, like, in the middle of it, like it's an ocean. Like, he's just... He's gone bye-bye, Egon.
Gotcha. All right. So before the rest of you take off towards the forest, the lion-like man holds his finger to his muzzle and tells you all to stay quiet as you proceed and to keep your eyes forward before moving into the forest.
Thank you so much. I will bow to him and
Now I assume everyone is following except Atlas.
Someone just drag him along.
so
please.
if I see Atlas just staring, Valentine would just go over to him and he would take his top hat and he would use it to cover Atlas's eyes and then lead him away.
Now Atlas thinks he's in the deepest part of the ocean where
And
there's
I'll just
no
say,
light.
you will be fine.
Where's the rope from earlier at right now?
That I know what you're planning, and I would normally go along with it. However, I do believe that's still on the cliff face.
I wasn't gonna hog tie him. I was just gonna make a chain gang.
So Atlas, you're hearing everything will be fine as you are deep in the abyss of the ocean.
It's not going well.
Is he being resistant at all?
Atlas, are you shutting down or are you screaming?
Oh, he's on the point of shutting down. Like, it's getting low battery. And it's like the hat didn't help, and the fact that someone just went, you're going to be fine, when he's completely not fine. He is completely draining out, and he's going bye-bye.
I'm sorry, Atlas. I will attempt to knock him out.
There's currently a head on Atlas's head. I will allow an agility fight roll to see if you can knock Atlas out knock him unconscious. Depending on how this roll goes, you may have just punched him in. Okay, Alice. As you're hearing, everything will be okay, and you're swimming in the ocean. Someone just punched you in the head.
And in Atlas's mind, he just got tail hit by like the like a fucking deep sea monster.
Should we have the strong one do this?
I mean, I think Atlas is a strong one.
Are you going to call to somebody, Isaac, even though you just punched someone in the head?
I'll take a turn.
Does he knock the hat off?
No. The hat is still on. It can be taken off.
To clarify, I announced to the group before I just punched this man I was going to knock him out.
Okay, sure. But after...
Just to let you know, Atlas didn't felt anything because his armor is also 11. So like he just got punched in the face, and he's just like thinks he got tail slapped by like a monster in the deep sea ocean, but like he's still okay. He's like,
yeah. So Isaac, you just punched Atlas, and you didn't punch him well enough to like knock him out. You didn't punch him correctly, I should say. So he's still
cushioned the punch.
What?
The hat cushioned the punch.
Yes, sure. The hat cushioned the punch, but Isaac, so now that you failed to knock him out, what are you doing?
I'm going to stare blankly and question everything.
And
You know what? Mr. Lion Man, can you please carry him?
And so, Atlas, I will give you a chance to respond as the Lion Man does let out a sigh, but is willing to carry you.
I mean, I think at this point, Atlas is pretty much shutting down. But like, so who's around me, like close enough to see Atlas' eyes and stuff?
I mean, I'm right next to you, so.
Yes, but there is a top hat on your head, so nobody can actually see your eyes. However, Valentine is close to you. Isaac was close enough to punch you. Revy is in the forest. Elise is around.
See, if it seems like the hat isn't helping, I would remove it and put it back on my head.
Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. So like at that point, like basically like whatever light source shows up out of nowhere, like we don't know what happened, but like you see like a faint glimmer of like orange on his right eye, and then he just like snaps out of it, and he just like stands up, and he starts walking to like where Revy was going, just like blankly going, and then he turns around to like, "Are we going?" And then he keeps going.
Yes, the magic hat trick worked.
I will just stare some more and sigh and follow.
Elise, how are you
Can she
processing this
move? You
chaos?
said we stopped the bleeding, but can she move?
She can move. She can walk on her own.
If Valentine would like offer to help her walk if she needs it, but
Okay, so yeah, Elise, where is your head at? Are you still mostly concerned with your injuries? I mean, I wouldn't blame you. You did just get chomped. You watched your parents die. You had to deal with zombies. You got eaten by a sand monster. I wouldn't blame you if you were mostly concerned with yourself.
well, you did say that the emotions are starting to flood in, right? So she'll be so much in a daze, like she doesn't know where to start actually, and then she doesn't notice anything around her, and she's just trying to cope up with the pain.
Isaac will turn to Val and suggest that they each take an arm and walk her with the
Yeah.
group.
He's gonna, put her arm over his shoulder.
Okay, so as we head into the forest, from what I can gather, there are three groups. There is Revi in front, then Atlas, and Elise is being assisted by Isaac and Valentine for walking.
Yeah, I would assume at this point that Atlas would have just went to survival mode and like got up to Revi. So I'd imagine they would be in like one group. Because I don't think Revi's booking it. I think she's walking slowly.
We will come to that. All right. So the Lion Man actually just goes into the forest by himself. However, he does tell you to follow the path. Now,
And to stay quiet.
as you end up going into the forest, something interesting starts to happen. First, voices slowly start to flood all of your heads, saying, "Welcome. Welcome to the woods. Welcome." And it starts out as sort of like a low whisper in your minds. However, it begins to get much louder, and well, you were told to stay quiet, so I doubt anyone's talking to each other. And more importantly, though, as the voices pick up, so too does a fog. And aside from Isaac, Elise, and Valentine, who are literally holding on to each other, everyone starts to vanish from eyesight. In fact, the fog ends up getting so thick that it's hard to see your hand in front of your face. So we will start with you, Revi. What is your what are you thinking as you're hearing these "welcome to the woods" and you can't really see far in front of your face?
I'll just try to ignore the voices of the kid moving forward. I have to find a way out. And I'll try to reach around to make sure I don't get myself killed.
Did you say look around or reach around?
Reach around.
Okay. And Atlas?
Like as the fog rolls in, Atlas is basically like he stops, and then he's just like figuring out like okay, he just kept going one direction where one person was going, but like currently he's still trying to figure out why he's walking, but he knows like what was going on, and he knows there's more people behind him, so he's gonna like wait and pull out like a few flashlights, like heavy duty fog repellent flashlights of sorts, and just like turn them on so that people can see a little bit better.
Um Now, you said you're gonna wait. Did you say you're gonna turn around with these flashlights?
No, he's literally gonna like stop, like kneel down and just pull out like the flashlight out of his bag and just like turn them on, and just like have them like facing upwards so that you can still see the light instead of just facing in one direction.
Gotcha. And Valentine, Elise, Isaac, any change as the fog rolls in and these voices pick up?
I will just whisper, since I'm on one side of Elise, I'll just whisper into her ear and be like, just don't look back and ignore the voices as we continue walking forward, because that's what we were told to do by the lion man who saved us. So I'm not going to break those. I'm not going to break those rules. I don't want to be possessed.
He did also mention to stay quiet, but anyway, Isaac.
I whispered very quietly.
Isaac's gonna hold one finger up to his lips, the whole shh, and then just kind of point his hand forward.
So, there is one more surprise in this forest for everybody. Now, Revy, as you are walking along, you do hear what sounds like puppies playing to your side, having a good time.
Resist the cuteness.
Don't give in. It's what Aster wants.
I'll remember what the big creature told us. And well, it was just stay quiet. I'll try to see what's over there.
He said not to turn around too. No.
Gotcha.
Oh, he
So,
did.
Atlas.
Yo.
In your case, you start to hear the sounds of the ocean in front of you.
Oh, great. Now what? He's slowly like getting back into his mindset of like the ocean.
Well, I mean, it sounds distant, but it does sound like it's in front of you. It sounds as if you continue down this path, you will come upon the ocean once more.
So Alice is basically gonna like sit down. He's gonna start rummaging through his bag to find his compass and see like exactly where north is. And then he'll probably gonna start walking, like depending on where the ocean is, he'll know which way to go safely and not towards the ocean.
So he's not going to head straight ahead.
No, he's stopped and he's gonna start calculating his best course that's not facing the ocean.
Gotcha. And finally, Valentine, Elise, and Isaac. You all end up hearing a small child saying, "Please, please save me! Help! Help!" However, Isaac, you hear it coming from your right, and Valentine, you hear it coming from your left.
Valentine, just thinking about the others, he would take his right hand, the one that's not helping Elise, because I assumed he was on the left and he was on the right and Isaac was on the left. He would take his right hand and he would put it in like Elise's ear, so she doesn't have to hear this kind of stuff. Just to help out, and he'll just ignore it.
Isaac?
I will probably just continue forward, if not do the same.
All right, so, Valentine, Elise, and Isaac. Eventually, the voices dissipate for you, and the fog starts to calm down, and soon the large lion man is standing ahead of you, walking towards a village.
So are the Atlas and Revy just gone as far as our perception's concerned?
Well, something seemingly happened to them along the way. They were ahead of you, but maybe they simply got lost along the way.
Well, I think our priority is to get Elise into this town to get some help.
Right. Let's get her taken care of, and then we'll worry about the others.
So as you get into town, since the large lion man hasn't come to check on you guys just yet, you do see him seemingly arguing with, well, honestly, what looks to be just a tall person. Like, they're wearing a weird hat, but so is Valentine.
Hey.
They do look like they're in priestly attire, though. There seems to be some kind of argument going on between them as you lead Elise into the town.
They
Uh,
probably don't want us here.
well, you say Sister Mons, however, I don't think Sister Mons can look very masculine. I suppose they could, but
Well, you just said like tall, so with like priestly, so I instantly went to like Sister Mon CL or Noir. That's just because like that's how when you described it. But if they're masculine,
right,
then I don't have any idea.
that's fair. Yes, very tall, priestly attire. I suppose it would be hard to tell if they're masculine because their garb actually covers most of their body. But, so Atlas, you are walking the walk. You've walked into the forest and you're following your compass. Now, we'll come back to you, but I will take a knowledge survival roll just to see what happens. And Revi,
Mm-hmm.
what happens with you is actually a bit more interesting, I suppose. The fog slowly starts to dissipate for you, and the voices of the welcoming woods slowly start to die down in your head, and you come upon like what honestly looks like a tiny little oasis with a lot of, well, they're monsters, but very cute looking small monsters running around having a picnic.
Looks like I'm gonna have to pet them all. It's the only way I can leave this place.
So as you approach to pet them, they're like, "Oh, hello. Have you come to join our picnic?"
They can talk. Everything's less cute when they speak.
If you
Yes,
say
I'll join
that,
the picnic.
if you say that, they do pout, but
I'll join the picnic.
with a celebration, they slowly like run around and gather up stuff and bring you food and drinks. And they tell you that it's been so long since they've had a visitor.
Thank you for all the food and drinks, but I'm not very hungry.
And they begin to pout again. It's like, oh, but we want you to at least tell us if it tastes good. We've put so much work into this food.
It's okay. No, thank you. I'm good.
And as you deny them, you see them slowly start to pout off and nibble on the food to the side.
Okay, I'll take one bite.
And with that, they cheer. So, let's see, Atlas. That's not a bad roll. You know what? Although it seems counterintuitive, somehow you actually manage to, whether it's skill or dumb luck, get out of the fog yourself. And you see a village in the distance.
Atlas will stay in the outskirts of that village. He's not going to go right in.
You do see, you do eventually see, Elise, Valentine, and Isaac, though.
He's still going to stay in the outskirts of the village. Because he currently does not know those three.
That is fair. Okay. And as you exit the fog, Atlas, you do eventually see a very small, shadowy like creature zip past you. You don't have much time to really get a look at it, but it seems to dive into the forest.
Was it coming toward me into the forest, or was it coming like side into the forest?
Um, it wasn't coming right at you, but it was flying past you, basically.
Yeah, so Atlas basically like ducks down and just like covers himself with like his jacket, hands over his head, making sure it doesn't attack him.
Gotcha. All right. So, Valentine, Elise, Isaac, what are you doing currently?
I will just look at the people in the town. I'll be like, our friend here is actually rather hurt. We managed to do what we can, but could anyone please help?
Um, so you go up to the lion and the priest that are arguing.
Yes. I'm assuming because we'd be following the lion, so.
Right. And the priest actually, even though you're full-grown adults, the priest actually towers above you and looking down at you is like, "Oh, you poor pitiful creatures. Don't worry, I can handle this." And he reaches towards Elise, and as he places his hand on her, you see a faint light come from him, and Elise, you begin to feel perfectly okay.
I immediately say thank you, and I try to get off Isaac and Val so that I won't trouble them anymore, and I will say sorry if I gave you guys a hard time.
Oh, you didn't give us a hard time. I'm just glad you're okay. And I will also thank you. Very big, tall priest man.
Um, he looks down and is like, "Oh, don't worry, child. It's the right of us beautiful to use those of the others." And he'd look at Valentine and Isaac. "So, I see that you've all come to our humble village."
Yeah, we're short a few.
Speaking of which, Valentine would turn towards where they came in to try to see if he could spot any of them.
"Oh, did they get lost in the welcoming woods?"
You call that place welcoming?
"Well, it used to be." "Oh, I suppose I should go assist them. If they spend too long in there, you'd probably never see your friends again."
Hate to trouble you, but is there anywhere we can, take a sit for a minute? We've been kind of on the run all day.
Yes. Well, I suppose this large beast over here would know this town better than I. Feel free to ask him for anything you need. I'll go retrieve your friends. How many were there?
2.
2. Gotcha.
A
And
rather
Atlas is
jacked bookworm, and then a rather stern-looking young woman, who likes to just talk very little.
um and the priest simply nods and continues on his way. Now, Revi.
Yep.
So, before the priest ever arrives, you do eventually see a tiny purple furball kind of slam into the creatures giving you food, and though it might be the most adorable one there, it is also the most angry, as it tells you to get a hold of yourself and open your eyes.
Oh, it's so cute. I'll pick it up.
It probably struggles within your grasp as it tells you that you're not safe here and that you need to snap out of it.
Fine. I'll listen to it.
And
After I hug it a few times.
and eventually it chomps on your arm, which brings you to your senses. And when you come to your senses, you see that you are rested against a tree, and the cute little plant monsters and whatnot that were giving you food before and seem so silky smooth actually look like rotting ancient trees. And you actually notice that you have roots starting to grow from your legs into the ground.
Oh no, I'm struggling out of here.
Give me a feats of strength roll, and we will come back to you. Now, Atlas, eventually a tiny black ball-like creature ends up slamming itself into your face.
Atlas basically will like catch it after it hits his face, but like he'll then hold it like at arm's length from him.
And it will tell you that, "Oh, Atlas, I've been waiting so long for you to come."
Who are you? Or what are you?
"Well, I'm your partner, of course. Come join us in the village."
What partner? That village?
That village.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
You can't make me.
Can we hear them arguing?
You want to give me a perception check for it?
Yes. Come on, Andy. Lay down.
So, Isaac and Valentine, you hear like very soft no's, however, you hear very loud, "Yes! Yes! Yes! Yes!"
I
Are
will
we on the
go
set of a
check it
porn?
out. I hope that's good news. I'll just start heading that way.
I'll stay
I'll
by
probably
Elise.
follow. I'll follow you guys.
And as you guys follow, you end up seeing the boy that dove into the forest arguing with a tiny black ball creature, and soon your own tiny little creatures would end up finding you and tackling you.
Basically, like, just to clarify, Atlas is like sitting down Indian style, just constantly saying no, eyes closed, like looking away from the village, and the little black balls just bouncing on his head, saying yes every time.
Hey, a book boy, backpack. We met on the ocean. I think you used to go to the cafe. What's that thing on your head?
Atlas basically just like doesn't like look at you, but he's just like, I don't know, take it away.
Facepalm. well, at least he's okay. And I'll just turn around and start heading back to the village.
And after seeing it, I'm just like, no, wait, just take it. I don't want it.
If it was going to hurt you, it would have hurt you already. I think it's your friend.
This is
I
the
don't
first
have
thing that
friends.
hasn't tried to kill us today.
And so, Revi, eventually you're able to rip the vines that have become part of your skin away. It's actually a very painful process, but as you do, these very demonic, ancient tree-like creatures slowly approach until the mist around you begins to fade, and a very large, priestly-like man approaches and tells you that your friends are waiting for you in the village, and the trees slowly begin to shrink away from him.
Friends? They're more like acquaintances, but okay. I'll grab the little purple furball and run. I don't want to stay near those things that were about to eat me.
Right? So, not that there's any specific way this goes down, but Valentine, how do you and your partner end up meeting?
So I assume that, as I, turn away from Atlas, begin walking away and mention, I think he's your friend. I feel something rustling in my pocket. And which form is it? Okay, is it the very, very baby, or is it is it like fresh or in training?
We'll say in training.
Okay, so okay, it's that one. So I feel a like rustling in my pocket, and I'll be like, and I'll look down and I'll just see this little gray thing with red eyes and like floppy ears, just kind of grayish purple, just like pop out with some cards, be like, well, I had the voice down for the rookie form, but I'll just be like, what are these things in your pocket? These are interesting. What are they? Can I have them? I'm like, sure. They're cards. Do you know how to play? No. Also, hello. And it'll just like jump on my head, carry me.
Gotcha.
And I'll be
And
like, oh, sure.
Elise, how's your interaction with your partner end up going?
So she's also in training, right?
Yes.
I'll probably like look at her weirdly, like what I'll ask like, what the hell are you? And she's like, well, I'm a Digimon, and she's gonna try to like explain to me, and then so does she know me or what?
Um,
It's like,
they know you somehow. They are essentially they're essentially like newborns, however, they definitely know you. If you dig too deep, you probably won't get any answers, but it's there.
It's that Twilight werewolf shit.
Also, as a heads up, I would be like searching through my cards for the one that resembles this little ball.
Gotcha.
Just
okay.
as a heads up.
So yeah, she's like, hey, like she was just trying to like get along with me, and then I'll be like, be weirded out, and then but I'll just allow her to stay by my side and just but not touch her at all.
So you're kind of off put, but you don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Okay, and Isaac, what's it looking like for you? Isaac?
Hey, sorry, I forgot I'm on push to talk. So, Isaac's going to spot a campfire in the town and kind of get mesmerized staring at it, and out of the crackling embers is going to pop a little sunball. and it's going to be screaming, Isaac, 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 and he's going to be panicking, thinking he's on fire.
So Isaac is going to be panicking, thinking that the little creature is on fire.
No, that Isaac is on fire.
Oh,
A giant ball of sun just popped out of a campfire at him.
that fair reaction. So as chaos ensues, eventually, Revy, you make your way into town and you see everyone with their own, in general, adorable little creature. And you hear in the distance the screaming of yes and no, but not far behind you is the priest who allowed you to escape the forest.
I'll look to the priest and say thank you, but where am I?
Oh, you're at a village at the bottom of the mountains. Normally I stay at the temple up top, however, I felt the need to come down here. Have all of you gotten any rest as of late?
Of course not. We've been on the run.
Oh? On the run from what?
I mean, does that really matter?
Well, I suppose everyone has their secrets. If you end up talking to that big, gross, disgusting creature over there, he'd say, pointing at the lion wearing the cape and hat, I'm sure he'll provide some sort of place for you to stay the night. However, I do recommend that you eventually end up making your way to the church in the back. There is a statue back there that should allow you to quickly make your way to our temple. It's much nicer there.
Alright. I'll walk over to the adorable giant lion.
And uh, he notices your approach and asks, "What do you want, human?"
I think we all need a place to stay for the night.
And he shrugs and lets you know that many of these houses have beds that you can stay in. Most are abandoned. Just don't disturb the little ones. And if you look around, you'll notice very small creatures wandering about the village. However, that's all you'll notice wandering about the village.
I think it's best if we get some rest.
And just like out of nowhere, Valentine goes, "Oh yes, you are Pagumon." Yeah, just as he's showing the card to Pagumon, who's just like holding it in his ear. Man, I look so much better in real life.
Anyways, a place to sleep.
So, as you, do you all slowly find a place to sleep? Do you have any more questions for the priest or the lion before heading off to bed?
I mean, I have lots of questions, but as you said earlier, with my endurance roll and everything, Valentine's rather worn out.
Right,
So-
right. And Atlas, are you going to come into the village for a place to stay, or are you going to stay in the woods?
Atlas is still sitting on the ground saying no while the little black ball is still bouncing on him saying yes, but he's getting a little bit tired from doing it. Atlas is gonna stay in the outskirts for the night.
Gotcha. And just out of curiosity, do you think your tiny little creature would ask why you are staying in these woods that have been known to have big, terrifying monsters in them? Whether that's true or not. Do you think he'd say that?
Probably not as of now, because he's currently trying to push him to go into the village,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like pretty much excited to see me. So he's just trying to focus more on like, go to the village and we'll talk. But since I wasn't moving, he just kept going and going and going until eventually I would move, but I didn't. So he's like gonna fall asleep before I would move.
Oh, in response to chat, no, I never mentioned that he was white. Although maybe I mentioned white in response to the black and white beach. Yes. There's no denying that you definitely guessed who it is. Anyway.
Oh yeah, okay, Sponcho Leomon, woo!
Elise, will you be heading to find a place to stay for the night?
Yeah, I'll probably like try to ask around where I can stay.
Gotcha. And Isaac, will you also be looking for a place to stay?
I'll probably stay squared up next to the fire.
Gotcha. Do you plan on, like, possibly passing out there?
If nobody stops me.
If we find like actual beds, then I would try to convince him, but
Yes, you do find, like, actual beds. However, so, the priest does end up going to Isaac, and he doesn't necessarily try to convince him to stay in a bed, but, he does tell him, so it seems that your friends are going to sleep for the night. I recommend you get some sleep too before you hopefully make your way to the temple tomorrow. Now, this place should be safe between me and the big cat. However, if it's not, I'll let you know to head to the church. Does that sound fair, my friend?
Just about anything sounds fair at this point, but when you say should, is there something hunting us?
Oh, these lands aren't as peaceful as they used to be. And with a laugh, he'd get up and start walking away towards the church.
Makes sense. And then after that, Isaac will eventually get up, dust his legs off, and follow the others.
And Elise, you'd eventually be directed by the big, cute, adorable, possibly terrifying lion man of a place to stay. And Atlas, you're crashing in the woods.
Yep. He's like the moment the black ball falls to the ground sleeping, he's gonna start building like a little tent area for him to sleep.
Gotcha. And actually, Atlas, you in particular, I will take a perception check from.
Alright, just one moment. I accidentally closed my sheets. Just a basic perception.
Well, willpower perception, but yes. And hopefully all of you will end up getting a good night's rest.
Yes, please.
After all, none of you have actually managed to sleep in probably, 48 hours or so?
I've only been fighting everything and running circles everywhere.
Yeah, Atlas is not sleeping.
Well, I mean, that roll doesn't say you're not sleeping. That roll says that you forgot which direction the camp is in that's, like, right next to you, and maybe you should head towards the welcoming woods again. That's what that roll says. Does anyone look around the village before heading to bed, or does everyone just it's time to go night-night for the night.
I'll
might
look around.
around.
Okay, so honestly, I don't need too much perception checks. I didn't think Atlas would perform so poorly. I forgot. But yeah, so as you look around, you notice that the outskirts of the village actually has wire and bells wrapped around it. So you have somewhat of an alarm system should anything actually approach. And as you look around more, there's a tavern for food. The village is very run down, lacking most basic things, but it has enough to survive.
I'll probably go to the tavern to check things out.
And Ravi?
Nah, I'll look around a bit, but I'll just go to bed.
Gotcha. Yeah, as you approach the tavern, it almost seems self-running. There are tiny creatures in there that help out, and if you want a bite to eat, they will oblige.
I'll probably just ask like, where are we? Like, what's this place called?
Oh, well, we're in the Village of Beauty, the first thing you see when you visit the Land of Beauty, silly.
And what are you guys?
Oh, well, we're Digimon. This is the digital world,
Bergamot.
after all.
Bergamot.
So I probably also ask like, so what's the alarm system for? Like, do scary things come at night or something?
Ah, well, I don't think night is a prerequisite. Things have gotten scary, but luckily Banjo Leomon is here, and as long as he's here, we shouldn't have to worry.
So he's the one who's protecting everyone.
Yeah, he might seem scary, but he's a good guy.
And after that, I'll probably just like, if there's anything peculiar around the tavern, I'll probably like go back and then try to get some sleep too.
It looks like the
Mhm.
stream started buffering
What?
on
Oh.
Twitch.
I don't think it is. Is it buffering for anybody else?
Buffering for me.
Mine's still
Nope.
good.
Okay. So, anyway, as everyone lays down for
Oh,
shut
maybe it's
eye.
just me. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I mean, it's better to know than to not know. But anyway, as everyone lays down to get some sleep, slowly but surely you all pass out and sleep envelops all of you. And then I would say we'll call it there. However, one last thing. You are all awoken by a jingle. And we'll call
Well,
it there.